Hey, welcome to Happy Hour with Chris. I'm your host, Chris. Obviously, I'm the only one here. I have a dilemma. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm going to be practicing dry January. I have a ton of beers in my fridge that I've got to drink through. Is this healthy? Probably not. Drinking by yourself is probably not healthy, but that's why I have so many beers in there because I really don't drink by myself. And also, when January does come, I'm going to be screaming for it. My liver will be saying, please help. I'm going to be opening up with a beer that has a really cool label and speaks to my 80s and 90s inner child. It's Ecto Cooler by Magnify Brewing. I believe Ecto Cooler was done by High C, and it came in a box, and I used to drink it with my school lunch all the time. It's flavored with tangerine, orange, peach, and lemon, and also Tang. And I love Tang, so that caught my eye. Cool label, 6% ABV. I poured it out. It's got this putrid, well, it kind of looks like pineapple juice. There's no clarity to it. It looks like a hazy. I don't really know what color an Ecto Cooler was because it was in a box, so I always assumed it was green. And this is kind of green. It kind of looks like pus. So let's give it a smell. Yeah, I'm not really getting Ecto Cooler on this. I just get ale. It's very hoppy. And it's supposed to be a sour, so I'm just gonna dive on into it in my cool school glass my parents got me for Christmas. Cheers. I overfilled this. Okay, I remember vividly in my mind what an Ecto Cooler tasted like, and this isn't it. I know it's probably hard to get an Ecto Cooler merged with an ale, and I get what they're going for, but I really don't even taste the tang on this. And I'm a connoisseur of the Tang. I get the peach on it and a little bit of the tangerine. Not really getting lemon, but it's not sour. On a scale of 1 to 10 for sourness, I would give this a 2. It's not making me pucker up or anything like that. It just tastes kind of like a undercarbonated, fruity ale. Carbonation on this is low. And I know because I just chugged it and I barely burped. I'm getting a little bit of the ale underneath it. The fact that it's just like so low carbonated, and this is the problem. I've got to clear all this stuff out because it's going to get old. There's no date on here. So maybe it's lost some carbonation in the process of sitting in my fridge for about 3 to 4 months, but it's very undercarbonated. It's kind of like drinking a peachy, ale-y juice. It has the consistency of juice, which I want my sours to have a little bit of carbonation, you know? I love the label on this, but it's not doing this for me. I'm not even sure I'm really gonna finish this, which is probably for the best, given that I'm drinking a ton of beers today. It doesn't mean I have to drink them all. I'm only but one woman. On a scale of 1 to 10, I will give this a 5. I'm disappointed in it. I mean, I really didn't know how great an Ecto Cooler beer was gonna be, but I had higher expectations as a child from the 80s that drank this stuff. I just wanted a little more, and I know Ecto Cooler didn't have fizz in it, but it's still a beer. It should have some carbonation in it. That's what we've got for the Ecto Cooler by Magnify Brewing, 5 out of 10. Hopefully it gets better. Cheers. All right, beer number 2 is a fall beer. Oops, it's only December 31st. Out of Charleston, South Carolina, apple cider donut brewed with lactose with vanilla and natural flavors added. I hope they just threw like a whole batch of donuts in there to make it real. Only 5% ABV, so that's a good segue into the higher ABV beers for this afternoon of drinking. Pours out to look like simply apple juice. It's kind of hazy. Let's stick our schnoz in there. Damn, I'm not getting cinnamon or vanilla or anything on this. I wonder, I hope it's not oxidized. Let's taste it. Cheers. Maybe this would work better as a cider, since it's a cider donut. I am getting like a yeasty characteristic, which I assume represents the donut. So ideally, because of the yeast, this should work, but it doesn't. Throw a lot of cinnamon in there or something. It's just kind of bland. It's very bland. I was excited for this one, not excited enough to drink it prior to today, but still excited nonetheless. I mean, it's good as an ale. There's just nothing special about it. Carbonation is decent. This is better than the Ecto Cooler in terms of carbonation. Gross. I went outside to film that pour, and my neighbors are cooking something that smells so heavenly and good, and I want to go up there and knock and be like, hey, can you feed me? It's easy to drink. It's just not great. So for the Edmonds Oast, not Oats, Brewing Company, apple cider donuts, I'm sad, but I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10 because it just didn't meet my expectations. So we're 0 for 2 right now, right? Is it 0 for 2 or 2 for 0? 2 so far, and neither of them have been good. So let's proceed. Cheers. Okay, on to beer number 3. Thank God I have a stout because I don't want to do another bad ale. So I'm going with Old Reliable here from Parish Brewing Company, Café Rave Coffee Stout. I guess it's Coffee Rave Roasters. Maybe it's a collaboration. 6.8% ABV. It's a smooth coffee stout with a select blend of specialty grade estate beans from Colombia and Java. Pours to a nice dark stouty look. I'm gonna take a point off after this, probably because when I opened this beer, it exploded all over my dress. And I don't appreciate that, so whatever I give it, -1. Why is this beer everywhere? I feel like there's like stout all over the place. What's up with that, Parish Brewing? Let's give it a sniff. Oh, it smells so heavenly. It smells like coffee, which I guess is the point. Yum. It's still dripping all over me though. All right, let's drink it. Cheers. It's nice to have a stout after 2 crappy ales. This is so good. It's coffee and vanilla and the roastiness. This is a good stout. Thank you, Parish, for just making a coffee stout. There's no ectoplasm in here. There's no tang in this. This is just back to basics. This is good. Yeah, this is extremely roasty and dark. And 6.8 for a stout, I mean, that's pretty good. It's not too heavy. Mouthfeel on this is like, I would say, a medium. Carbonation on this is medium. This is good. This is very good. As a stout. A coffee stout, stellar. Throw a little lactose in there, which I don't know if they do because the description is in a font that I can't read. It's very small and very font-like. I think they could improve upon that a little bit for those of us that, can't see. I would give this one, after those 2 ales, this is like a solid 8.5. This is a good stout. Appreciate it, Parish Brewing, for not making a stinker. Even though it's leaking everywhere, and I did say I was going to take a point off for the fact that this beer, for some reason, it's like all over my damn condo. I don't get it. Like it's all over my dress, it's all over my table. So 7.5 for Parish Brewing. Cheers. On to number 4. Okay, we're on to beer number 4, which I'm not even sure this is a beer. It was in the beer section at Total Wine with all the single loosey-gooseys, so I don't know. But it's the Dunkin' Spiked Pumpkin Spice Iced Latte. Contains alcohol. Thank God. America's Spiked Beverages from Puerto Rico. So it's made in Puerto Rico. I've been avoiding this one like the plague, honestly, just because it really sounds kind of gross. And when I poured it out... It didn't fail to disappoint. It's just 6% ABV on this sucker. It's got like a coagulated look to it. I don't think this is beer. I think this is just some sort of alcoholic malt liquor beverage. So let's give it a sniff. It just smells like malt liquor. But it does smell like coffee. It actually has like a minty smell to it, which is a little bit concerning. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dive on in. Cheers. Mmm. Ooh. Ugh. Okay, my first sip was good. The second sip was bad. This is one of those that gives a good first impression, but oh no, I don't want that. 1 out of 10 for the Dunkin' Spiked Pumpkin Spice Sauce Latte. If I can give you a 0, I would. Okay, we're on to beer number 5. For the record, I did not drink that iced pumpkin spice latte thing. I dumped it after the 3 sips. It was a sip and dump. And while I do resolve to waste less food in 2025 isn't until tomorrow, so it was totally okay to toss that one. Life is too short to get buzzed on bad alcohol. Next beer is actually a beer. It says so on the label. From Copper Point Brewing, we have the Copper Point Lager. 5% ABV amber lager. It looks so good in like my blue collar bowling alley beer glass. It has a really nice foam, but for an amber lager, I feel like it dissipated really fast, but it's pretty. Let's give it a smell. It smells like honey. It smells like a lager, a honey lager. Let's drink it. Cheers. It does indeed taste like a lager. It's very hoppy. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit toasted. I might just be reading the description off the side of the can because I swear that Dunkin' thing, I think it actually like singed out my taste buds. That Dunkin' spiced thing did. This is a German lager and it tastes like a German lager. This was given to me by Chad at Chad's Beer Reviews. I'm not too familiar with this brewery, but this is good. Lager's not really my thing because it's a little boring, which honestly, the way things are going, I guess boring isn't too bad, but it's a solid. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this one, I'll give it a 6.75. I'm not fully committed to the 7, but it's a solid. I would drink it again. It doesn't make me gag, so that's a good thing. So yeah, number 5, 6.75. On to the next. Cheers. Hey, it's still New Year's Eve and we're gonna wind this down just because I don't want to drink any more beer. So we're gonna end on one with a good reputation. North Coast Brewing Company Old Rasputin Russian Imperial Stout. Rah rah, Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. I poured this one out and it reminds me of when you make an ice cream float with root beer and ice cream. It's like 90% head, man. That head is so big and so brown. It's gonna take me a while to even drink this thing because it needs to settle. Like here we are several minutes later and it's still all head. I think it's finally settled down to the point where I can drink it. Look at my kitty. Cheers. Yeah, it describes itself as complex, and it is. It's bitter, but not too bitter, to the point of being undrinkable. It's got some vanilla, a little bit of roastiness, and a little bit of pine. Old Rasputin, I'm not gonna lie, I've had this one before, but it's still been floating around in my fridge. It needed to be drinked before January 1st. So this is probably the second best one I've had today after the Café Réveil by Parrish. This one is a good, this is an 8 out of 10, I would say. It's pretty good. To summarize New Year's Eve, the worst one I had was the Dunkin' Pumpkin Spiked Latte. So bad. So bad. I dumped that one. The Ecto Cooler by Magnify Brewing wasn't very good. So I think the stouts came in solid tonight to cap out 2024. I'm all beered out right now, so I could use a dry January. I don't want to drink any more beer until February. I'm good. So January is going to be dry January, so I'm going to stick with the 0% ABVs, which I really don't have a lot of experience with. I think I've got a Les Chouve in the fridge from Chad's Beer Reviews that I can review, and then I'll explore some of the hemp derived drinks as well that give you a buzz without the alcohol, but definitely beered out for 2024. I hope your 2025 is glorious. I guess we'll see what the hell happens. I live in America, so who the fuck knows. Happy 2025 and dry January. Cheers.